All right, here we go. I have a shortcut for you, so let's do it. I'm going to be using the same information that we used on the previous video, and that information is where they defined A, B, C, D, and E. So when I show you this, you might get a little bit mad and be like, why didn't you show me this first? I want us to understand the process before we get to a shortcut. And to be real honest with you, the shortcut isn't always the most practical thing. So I'm going to open up a new window, and that new window is going to be desmos.com/ okay, not calculator. Often we go to calculator, but it's matrix, matrix. We're going to press enter. Now this beautiful thing happens here, pops up, and we are going to begin to define some matrices. So some of the stuff we did on paper is really practical. So the first matrix was A, and I'm going to click new matrix, and A pops up. Now, the wonderful thing about this is that it already pops up as a two-row, two-column matrix. That's kind of the default. So we're going to just type that in, 2, -3, 4, 1. Okay? I'm going to press enter, and right now, A is stored as 2, -3, 4, 1. Now we're going to do a new matrix. I'm going to click new matrix again, and then B pops up. Well, B on my paper is not a 2 by 2. It's actually a 3 by 1. So we need to adjust the dimensions. So right here where it says edit matrix B, we need 3 rows. I press the plus, click that plus, and it takes it up to 3 rows, but we only need 1 column. So let's subtract a column. Now we have 3 row, 1 column. It looks right. The dimensions are right. Let's put the numbers in. And the numbers are -3, 4, and 6. Once you have those in and everything is correct, you press enter. By the way, if you have a number, any number that's wrong, it kind of screws a lot of things up, particularly when we get to matrix multiplication. That's going to be later. All right, we had 5 of these, so here goes. New matrix. C, we go in alphabetical order. It's wonderful like this. It is a 2 by 2. Let's type things in. -5, 3, 10, and 4. I'm using the arrow keys to move from one entry or element, call it the same thing you want, to the next. There we go. New matrix, D. It's also 2 by 2. I'm going faster now. -9, 8. Let's start from 9. 9, and then -1, and that is correct. And then new matrix again. E is not right. E is not 2 by 2. So make sure your dimensions what they meant to be, what you want them to be. Sorry. 3 rows, 1 column, and we're going to type -12, 15, and 3. There we go. All right, they're all entered in. We're good to go. We have everything we need. Now, when we do the actual problems on the paper like we just did, and you know the answers, okay? So this is not about finding the answers. This is about me showing you this resource, right? So I hope you're not skipping this. Of course, if you're skipping this, then you didn't hear me just say that. However, what we are going to do is find kind of a quick way to do this, because what if I would have said, hey, what's 12A minus C plus D inverse? Like if I threw an inverse in there, like we're not going to do that by hand. So what I'm going to do is just simply type the problem. I'm looking on my paper at number 7 where it said find A plus C, and I'm going to type that. Now I'm using capital letters. If you would rather, instead of typing capital A, you can click A and then plus C. There you go. And you see it. You see the answer right in front of you. It's right here where my mouse is, -3, 0, 14, 5. Done. Done. You copy that down and you're done. Now, don't get mad and be like, why didn't you show me that earlier? Because we need to understand the process. And honestly, again, sometimes it's faster if we just do it on paper before we take all this time to pull up this window and type this thing in. It's not always worth it, right? Okay. We press enter. We've got that. We're good. A, B, C, D, and E are still stored in there. We can crank out the rest of these really quickly, and I'm about to. So I'm going to use capital letters because those represent matrices. So find 3B. 3, capital B. Done. There you go. Find D minus C. D minus C. Done. Now, again, I'm warning you, though. If you type the original matrices in incorrectly, it's not going to work. Not going to be correct. Your final answers will be wrong. So I warn you just to be very cautious with this. Okay. Number 10, B plus 2E. There you go. Done. Man, these are easy. Let's do 2 more. A plus C. I'm going to show you something cool. Minus lowercase d. When I put a lowercase d, it doesn't work. I get that little triangle with the exclamation where they're like, ah, it's not going to work. So make sure you use capital letters. There you go. And then the last one, 5a minus c. And we got it. We have all the answers. And if you need to scroll back and see something, you can. Actually, if you need to go back and redefine something, if you go all the way back up here, you can redefine something. Okay, when you're finished with that, like if you had a worksheet and you had those, or you're working on some word problems, something really practical in real life where you're dealing with data and you're doing something like this, and you're done and you're about to move on to another data set, you would need to clear it. So I'm going to clear all. And now, if I was to say, hey, I'd like matrix A, please, they're going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. When you click clear all, it's done. So once you finish a particular set of problems, that's what you